Hello everyone, Joni, Executive Producer on Sea of Thieves here with another weekly dev update. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about next week's update that's coming on December the 11th. So reminder to everyone that anything that's time limited as part of the Seabound Soul update, you'll have to kind of have that kind of stuff completed by December the 11th. But I also wanted to talk about just some of the quality of life improvements that we're making to the build for next week's update. First of all, we're making some tweaks and changes to sword combat. And really the overall goal here is just to make sword combat more fluid. This is part of just an overall assessment of personal combat overall and really how swords and guns really interplay with each other. And so this is just kind of one step along the path to improving personal combat overall, but I'll talk through some of the details of some of the changes that are coming here. First of all, when you kind of strike with a sword and you miss, like the cooldown until you can strike again is shorter now, so we've reduced the time that you kind of can't strike again. When you're kind of fighting and you manage to block successfully, we've removed the stun lock that kind of happened there, which would kind of lock you in place. That's removed when you successfully block with another sword. When you wield a sword, there's a brief delay before being able to strike, and that kind of matches how guns work. And this is really us kind of introducing this to remove an exploit that's currently there with swords. So alongside that, there's actually just an improvement to the kind of information that you're getting during combat. So first of all, there's now a directional damage indicator. So when you're taking damage, there's the damage effect around the screen kind of identifies the direction in which the damage is coming from. So that really will help people in any kind of combat situation. We also now have sword trails kind of on the cutlass itself. So when you're swinging your sword and striking people, you'll see a nice trail, kind of really visual kind of feedback for using the sword. So that's the kind of core stuff that we've implemented in this update. So we'll look to see how this kind of changes the kind of just the combat experience and how everything kind of works together. And we've got a bunch of other stuff that we're looking at that will kind of take a bit more time to do, but it is all about just looking at combat, removing any exploits, and smoothing just the rough edges of how swords and guns kind of interact with each other. So a few other quality of life improvements here. So one is the Black Market Archive. This will provide access to previously released items. We'll initially release stuff into the black market, and that'll be the kind of thing that gets introduced that month that Stitcher Jim or whoever is highlighting. But from that point onwards, so kind of after that first month, they will be moved to this persistent kind of archive. So they'll be available for you to buy, but kind of at a higher price than they were during that initial month. So this, you know, it reduces that kind of critical nature of kind of getting them during that month, but there is still an advantage if you do kind of get them in the month that they're introduced, but they're always going to be available for players that are kind of introduced to the game later. Ammo crates are now in, so we've addressed the issue that was there that like wasn't actually having them spawn in the world to be findable, so you'll actually be able to live out all your ammo crate carrying dreams. Alongside that, you can now sell collector's chests, so empty collector's chests. Once you've kind of taken everything out, you can now sell these to the Gold Hoarders, Merchant Alliance, or the Order of Souls, and you'll get kind of both gold and XP for those chests too, so there's now a value for them, even if you find an empty one that someone's emptied and trolled you with. And then most importantly, like probably one of the most important updates that we've made to the game so far, is that now if you're sick on a fire, it will put it out, which was a much requested feature, and I honestly can't believe that we ship far without it, to be honest. But yeah, and that's it for our kind of quality of life updates in next week's update. So next week we'll have more to share, kind of what is coming, but December the 11th is the date that this will be released. So it should be fun. We've got a lot of stuff planned for the kind of month of December, a lot of it themed appropriately, so yeah, it should be a really cool month. And yeah, I think that's it. So aside from that, I will see you on the seas. Not again. Oh, hey everyone. So remember, if you liked today's video, feel free to like, subscribe, or click that little ship spell. Cheers.